Welcome back. So today we're going to go over a quick troubleshooting tip that you can use to help your data show up as expected in the data analysis tab in cases when it isn't showing up completely. There are certain situations when your data has been processed on the Qualtrics end, your data has been collected, but it doesn't show up as expected. This quick tip called reindexing sort of refreshes everything on the back end on Qualtrics to help the data show up as expected so that it can be exported, analyzed, and manipulated in any way you're looking to do. So I'm going to hop into this survey called reindexing survey test and add a quick preview response. Let's call it green, cat, Omaha, Woody, and 250 and beyond. Perfect. So it might take a few seconds. So I'm going to refresh this account and then head to the data analysis to make sure that data is there. Okay, so it'll take a little bit of time. So once I refresh this, I should see something that says 0-1. Perfect. So this 0-1 lets me know that 0 responses are currently being displayed, but 1 response has been processed. This is important when we talk about why reindexing works and what's going on behind the scenes, but this is something that's useful to know. Let me refresh one more time and then the response should show up as expected. Perfect. So I see this response in here. Everything looks good. Now I'm going to do something similar, except I'm going to generate test responses this time. And then we'll see in here, once we go back to data analysis, we'll see a 1 out of 6 once we refresh. Yes, one more time. Perfect. So 1 response is displayed, 6 responses have been processed. Now this happens on a larger scale where sometimes 100 responses are being displayed, but 600 responses have been processed. To speed up how fast a response gets processed, what we can do is we can do something called reindexing the data, where we sort of clear the data pipeline so that all the data can flow through as normal. Because sometimes some data can get stuck, and while it has been processed like we see here, it just isn't displayed yet. Now to reindex, what you're going to want to do is head over to the survey flow. You're going to want to click add a new element here, embedded data, and then reindex. You're going to want to move this to the top and hit apply. And then once we do that, this clears out the data pipeline so that if there's any data flowing through that's getting stuck from being displayed, everything's been cleared out and the data gets displayed as expected. So once we head back to the survey, we're going to republish this. Make sure things saved, and then head back to the data analysis and take a look again. And then the way you know reindexing works is if you see a warning like this, we're generating the prepared data set and some percentage complete, that's how you know that the system is refreshing to include the latest data. And as we can see here, all the 6 responses have been recorded. While since this was a very small data set, it happened fairly quickly. For larger data sets, it'll take a little bit more time as the platform has to process all those different responses and then refresh everything to show the latest data. Now, after you do this, once you refresh the data and refresh the account, you should be good to go most of the time. And for the rest of this video, I'll talk about why this works. But otherwise, if you ever run into a situation where the data you're either exporting doesn't match what's being shown in the data analysis, or you ever see that the numerator for the recorded responses is less than the denominator, reindexing is a great way of making sure that those 2 data sets align so that you can manipulate the data as you want to, analyze it as you want to, or just have it match your exported data. If you're still here, let's go over why this works and what reindexing is doing behind the scenes to get the data to show up as expected. So usually what happens when data is collected is that it goes to this processor, and after it gets to this processor, it gets shipped down to the display, and then out in the data analysis tab for us to view as normal in the Qualtrics platform. However, sometimes there's some sort of blocker here that prevents the data from moving through this display pipeline and then being outputted so that people can view it as normal in the data analysis tab. What reindexing does is it clears out that display pipeline so that after the data is processed, the display pipeline is sort of reset and everything in that pipeline is cleared, then data can flow through as normal and come out and get displayed. I hope that clarifies things. Please feel free to reach out for any additional questions or concerns about this. Or if you do have any suggestions about topics you'd like to go over or any other things you'd like to cover related to this or about Qualtrics in general, please feel free to leave a comment below. Hope that was helpful, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.